Alright, timestamp June 28th, 2025. Right at 2 o'clock. Just woke up about 10 minutes ago, don't judge. Tiny and I hit the sack at in between 5 and 6 a.m. So I actually got something similar to 8 hours. That's nice. OJ breakfast. Just took all my pills, checked in with my girl. She took a trip to the vet. He's got like lesions and stuff like that. They think the lesions are benign, but he's an old Chihuahua. This is Tanner's partner. They say brothers, but we don't think they're brothers. We just think they've been together for a long time. We got a lot done in the garage last night. Trying to go through all the stuff. We made a big mess in making a clean spot. Tiny did some amazing work though. If you remember what it looked like out here. You can actually see the garage door. Yeah. Trying to go through the shelves, figure things out. That's Tiny's cat. He arrived a couple days ago now. That is Kaiser. Got an ornery 14-year-old tuxedo that Tiny's had since they were both kittens, really. We saved that kitten probably about 6 months old. Tiny looked at it. They looked at each other. He slung the cat over his shoulder and walked back to his bedroom. And it's been Calvin and Hobbes country ever since. Having a weird panic attack for no reason. But apparently in the week that Tiny was here, Kaiser pooped on Tiny's bed back at George twice. So Pixie thought it was a good idea to maybe reunite the two, because he was definitely making a statement. They do that, you know. Very much a where's my kid? So he seems to be doing much better. Spill some drops. It's rained a lot last night. I don't think it's done. We're going to work some more in the garage. Do what we can do there. Got a bunch of admin stuff done yesterday. Paid some bills, got some bills ready to be paid. Trying to manage the 2 households. It's not difficult, but complicated, you know. I see what we've gotten done, and I'm encouraged. And at the same time, there's still so much to be done. Oh. No words from my dad. Trying to figure out. I'm going to need to call the place where he's at. So I'm wondering if they did something to deactivate his phone. Pixie was joking about the other day that maybe he did actually call 911 from there, which he could have. He could have said, why am I asking my kid to call the police when I have a phone in my hand? Don't know. I expect if he did that sort of thing once or twice, the place where he's at would probably be like, you don't get a phone anymore. Not sure what Scrappy's doing. I think he's hunting wabbit. Ooh, big wasp. Rather not get hit by that. You good? Okay. Yeah. Oh. Cookie time, cookie time. Oh. There you go, Tanner. My dad's got a lot of generic Publix doggy treats. Cracked open the bag. We got a whole shelf full of doggy treats, which is a good problem to have because we got, dogs. So, just opened one, which is Publix jerky strips. They look like little flat, non-exciting brown pieces of bacon, pretty much. They seem to like them well enough. We're just going to go through those. Pepperoni, though, that's the winner. But there's, between what I got and what my dad had squirreled away in here, there's like 30 different bags of dog treats. So we're kind of trying to work through it before, at this point, we restock. Because the pepperoni's a favorite. And at Ollie's I get it's like Old Glory beef jerky something or other. It basically looks like little pepperonis. I'd been getting those for Scrappy because he loves those things. And they're a little bit cheaper than the pepperoni. So between the stuff that Dad picked up, I picked up, let's work that down and get that shelved to where it's not an overflowing mess. Found amongst the rubble in the garage probably 10 boxes of MREs. And I think I know why. We're trying to make sure we've got an accurate date because some of those don't really have a date printed on them. And I know they last, they say 25 years. We've come across some that were like 15 years old. And some of them we threw away because they were you really didn't survive 25 years. But that's supposed to be under best circumstances. Make sure that they're in a dry room temperature environment kind of thing. And some of the stuff my dad has, he's been storing out in the workshop in 110 degree room. So you don't get 25 years with that. You know what I mean? It'll break down. Any food will. But so because these companies are going to ship out the food as soon as they make it, or pretty much, because the whole idea is long term. You don't want to store a food in your warehouse for 3 years before shipping it, because then your customer gets mad they don't have 25-year food, they have 22-year food. The whole point of it is the longevity, you know what I mean? So they're going to want to ship it out as soon as they have it. And the 10 boxes that were found, they don't always label the manufacture date or the expiration Best Buy on it, which is annoying. But I figured we could probably go by the shipping label, because I'm a warehouse dork. Made sense to me, right? They were shipped in October of 2022. My theory here, and I'll never be able to confirm it, because Mom's gone and Dad's brain, he's not necessarily going to remember why they did anything. I think they were reacting to the doom and gloom on Fox, OAN, Newsmax about midterms. I think they were reacting to the fervor of midterms. And they said, Fred, we should order food because everything could get crazy here. The blue is going to get violent, because that's, such a thing. Don't know, could you see the eye roll through the glare of my glasses? I don't know. I'm seeing a real pattern in unaliving over the past few years where it's usually radical reds with guns that probably people shouldn't actually have in the streets. Like a weird pattern there. Very rarely is it a radical blue doing something. Except for Luigi. I think that might be more radical blue. Actually, no, I think he was considered red too. Just fed up. I don't know. Anyway, there's a pattern here, but they like to say that we need to tone down the rhetoric and stop the violence, and it's like, we're not the ones doing it, guys. We agree the rhetoric should be toned down, but have you watched Newsmax recently? It ain't us. Was that projection? Is that what they call that? But, yeah, I think they were panic reacting to the idea of midterms, that maybe there was a civil war coming or something like that. And they thought they should stock up on food. On that note, though, Tiny kind of lost her shit yesterday, because we remember my parents, and right after Milton, like 2 days in without power, my mom saying, we don't have food. Tiny didn't lose it, but had a bit of a heated rant to no one in particular, which I understand, in regards to the idea of, this is how much you needed intervention. Because this is 8 months ago now. Y'all are saying, I don't have food, we don't know what to do. You had 10 boxes of MREs. More than. But we just found a vein, to use the mining reference, of 10 boxes of MREs. And in a natural disaster emergency situation, you don't have food. I choose to find the humor. Tiny went through a little anger spurt there, because, and I get it. You don't have food, huh? You got 10 cases of MREs, and you don't have food. And Dad's ex-Army, so he's had an MRE before. It's right here. You got 10 cases. You got enough food for 3 months. Don't have food. Okay. Anyway. Again, with everything else that's going on, it just makes me kind of chuckle, laugh to myself, because, of course. these two frequently have had the solutions right in front of them and not chosen to use them. Part of it's cognitive decline, part of it's pride. So I tried to help. At this point, I'm just, okay, that sounds right. It's a normal day. It's a normal day. Anyway, I got 1 cup of coffee out of what was left. I'm going to make some coffee here in a few and begin my broadcast day. But I thought a early morning check-in. Our schedule's whatever we make it, so. So don't panic about food if you got MREs. That's the takeaway. Especially if you have 5 months worth of MREs. Because I think each one of those cases is supposed to be like a month food for one person. 10 cases, 2 people, you got 5 months worth of food right there. You're okay. I can't even. Anyway, make it a great day.